Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, the founder, president, and chief listening officer here at our network. Today's show is the Mallorca Connection, and it's true, he's back. Mr. Roland Friedl is back with us. I am super excited. If you've never met him before, you're in for quite a treat as I interview him today. He is the co-host of this show. He's also one of our expert presenters on our Talking Heads platform. He's a certified elevated listener, which means he listens at a higher level. And he's the host and moderator of his own show, a show for men, by men, about men. Wild at heart, bonfire talks, real, authentic, uncut. Let's welcome Mr. Roland Friedl to the program.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Great to see you again.
Nice to see you too. I missed having you here. I know that you're on the road and you're making things happen in that RV as you are training and coaching people around the world. Tell us what you've been up to, Roland.
Well, actually, we had an exciting time the last weeks. That's why I missed the shows, but I really missed it. I could facilitate an amazing training with amazing content for some American and Canadian companies on the road. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm traveling with my motorhome, with my RV, right now in Austria, in different parts. And I work from there online, and I absolutely enjoy it. And I'm very looking forward to this topic today.
Thank you so much. You know, Roland, when we think about the days of going into a brick and mortar building, right? We're going into an office building. We're going to find our cubicle or our private office, whatever it is. Your office is your motorhome, and it's not just any motorhome. I'd like to talk about that for a minute because your environment is conducive or not conducive to success. So tell us about why you picked the motorhome that you have and how you've been able to set yourself up so that you can work there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Well, the point is why a motorhome. Actually, when I was a student, I was traveling. I was always traveling and working during traveling, and I was thinking about a motorhome when I was a student. And I don't know, I forgot about it, or I never bought it. And then I married, raised kids, so there was nothing about a motorhome. And a few years ago, I was in Bali. I was in Bali, and I remember this. I was sitting on this nice villa on the pool, and always when I travel, I really travel, and I travel for weeks, not for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was 6, 8 weeks or longer. And I'm a dog lover, and I always missed my dogs. Always missed my dogs. So when I was sitting in Bali on this pool, I missed my dog. It was a Ridgeback. Unfortunately, he passed away this February. I missed my dog so much. So I went online and I said, it's time to buy a motorhome. So I was Googling in Bali about different motorhomes. And then I already made in Bali a decision. Okay, when I come back, I meet a dealer on the trade show, and I buy a motorhome. For several reasons. First of all, I want to bring my dogs with me. 1 point. Secondly, I really traveled the world, but as I came across that I want to see more about Europe. Actually, yeah, I've been in Asia and Africa, South America, North America, Middle America. But of course, I saw many, especially cities, because of my work in Europe, but not much of nature. So I decided, okay, let's get a motorhome. I started the first 3.5 years, I just used it for vacations. Actually, it was a combination of doing a vacation, traveling. Like last week, it was 1 month in Germany, then I went 2 months in Poland, and then another month in Austria. At this time, Mallorca has been my home base for 14 years. So it was always a mixture of vacation, traveling, and working, of course, because I never separate it because I love to work. I love what I'm doing, and yeah, and in winter, and the last 2-3 years, to be honest, I was only thinking about moving into it full time, but my girlfriend was not ready for that, and she was so in love with this beautiful house in Mallorca. So I kept the house, but to be honest, I wanted to get rid of it. And around Christmas, she came back from a trip and she told me, Roland, I have a new job. I will travel with my shaman around the world, which she did. She just came back from a long trip to Mexico, Netherlands, UK, Norway, Ireland, many, many countries. And so I would be alone by myself in the house. So I decided, okay, it's time to move full-time in my motorhome, which I did end of March, beginning of April. I moved full-time into it. And why I bought this RV, this one, well, it actually it's for 6 persons. It's a little bit larger, but when you want to live full time in it and when you want to work in it, you need really some space. But I have to say, especially for our American audience, it's for a US size, it's not as large. It's large for a European size because in Europe everything is a little bit smaller than in the US because we have smaller roads. Camping sites are smaller like this. It's a luxury one for a Europe standard. But it's not as big as many motorhomes in the US are. So it's quite good. I'm happy with it because I have my own sleeping room. I close it. I have my own shower. I have my own bathroom. I have my own kitchen. I can close everything. I have another sleeping room. Plenty of space to work here, to set up my studio, to broadcast, to do my video conferences, my trainings, my consultings with my clients. There's enough space. Actually, I have one dog with me, a huge one, and a cat traveling with me. And I have a huge garage with all my, my sports gear, my stand-up paddle, my canoe, my fishing gear, my archery gear. So it's plenty of space here. So I really love it. And it's I don't know how to say it in English. It's an alcoven, meaning you have another bed above the driving seat. So I love it. It's a nice vehicle.
And I've seen it on social media. I think you've sent me pictures, but we should show a picture of it on a future show. I think people would love to see that. And do you have to have a special license to drive it, or is it just like an automobile license?
Well, actually, I guess in Europe it's a little bit different than in the US. We have different licenses. So for this vehicle, you need a truck license because you can't drive it with a normal car license or a normal vehicle because it's a little bit larger, a little taller, a little more heavier. So you need a truck license to drive it.
Okay, thank you. So today we're talking about how to take your business on the road, how your business can be successful. Walk us through what we need to know when we're making this decision that, okay, I work from home and I'm just going to take what I'm doing, buy a vehicle, take the equipment, put it in there. I'm just going to start driving. Is that how we start?
Well, some people believe it, and especially when they go on YouTube and they see all this stuff. Some people believe it's like that. No, it's not. Well, first of all, I just talk from my experience and from the people I meet on the road who work also from the motorhomes and live there. Actually, we have to distinguish two things. First of all, I know people who work what we call digital nomads. They work online, like, I don't know, like myself, doing trainings or consulting, or they do individual coachings, or they do marketing stuff or websites, or that so-called digital nomads. Who travel in their motorhomes and work online. There's some of them, and the other part is so-called analog nomads. These are people, singles or couples or even families that live in a motorhome, travel around, but they have normal jobs. They work as a therapist, or they work as a plumber, or the electricity, whatever. So they have normal jobs. They're not working digital online. So that they go to a company, work there, or go to clients. And so that there's two kinds, digital nomads and analog nomads. There's two opportunities. So when you say, is it easy that way? Man, to be honest, for myself, it was not, I want to get rid of everything. I'm escaping. I hate my life. I hate my job. I'm escaping. I move in a motorhome. I live this dream and I find a business opportunity. This was not my case. So for me, it was not for escaping. It was just living a different lifestyle because I always I always challenge. I love to challenge myself, and I always love to change my lifestyle. And as I also do consulting and coaching on people who want to have the what I call the wireless life lifestyle, like on my website, Wireless Life Rocks. I said, okay, to be more authentic, I'm gonna move in full time and talk from my experience for my work. Doesn't matter what it's on a business context when I consult and train and coach huge international companies, or it's a private coaching. I always want to be authentic and talk from my own experience. And so for me, okay, yes, I moved into from a huge house into a motorhome, but I do the same job as I did before. Okay, so everything is prepared. I have a customer base. I know exactly what I'm doing. So I just changed the environment, but I didn't change my job. So that's one huge appointment. That's one huge advantage. And I really advise many people that said, okay, please don't go 100%. I mean, if you're single, if you're not responsible to bring home money for your partner and for your kids, and if you have some savings for at least 6 to 10 or 12 months, I think you can go high risk and say, okay, I move into a motorhome and I try this out. I want to do this or this. This is okay. But if you have to settle bills, if you're responsible for family, especially for kids, you don't have enough savings to just say, okay, you can make it half a year or a year until you build up a customer base. I wouldn't suggest this because it's really tough. Actually, I also sometimes I spend time on YouTube and I see some videos from when livers, people, especially young people, moving into motorhomes and to try to make their living on the road with with blogs or video comments about their traveling and stuff like that. It's a lot of competition on the market, and I know that most of them don't make much money, and most of them give up again. Very frustrated. So what I highly recommend is, if you want to do this lifestyle, have a job where you already have experience, or just prepare better. So stay in your job. If you can do your job remotely from a remote home, it's fine. If not, build, I would say, part-time. Yeah, when you have your main job where you can settle your bills, build up your part-time business, and then transform it slowly in a full-time business, and then go remotely on the road, but not before. It's high risk. It's high risk. To be honest, it's fun for me. It's fun because I love challenges. I love changes. I'm not triggered by change. I love it. But most people are triggered by changes, and you have a lot of challenges on the road. It's not always a sunny day.
Roland, a question I have for you while you're on Spotlight is, when you're dealing with these global organizations, was there any concern about the fact that you would be working on the road, or because you're so competent and they've worked with you before, they didn't really even care?
Well, most of them even didn't know where I'm streaming from. The point is, if you have a good professional setup like I do, a nice ring light, camera and everything, microphone. But the only concern I always have is the network good enough, yeah, and strong enough for video conferences, especially when you do it for hours, like running a workshop. But most clients don't even know them on the road. And it doesn't make sense to tell them, because it's nothing to hide, but it's not about me, it's about them. It's about supporting their stuff, developing their stuff. It's not about me. It's not about my story. And I don't want to distract them because I did it once, and then people ask me, especially in the breaks, how is this, how's this? And then you get distracted from the content I get paid for, So I know if they ask me, yes, but if they don't ask me, no.
Good to know. Thank you. So in the experience that you've had, what about access? That's something people are going to be wondering. If they are needing to stream, how do they know where there's going to be access in the world for Wi-Fi?
Well, actually, that's a good point. Some people use a router where they connect and with Wi-Fi on the road, like, I don't know, like fast food chains like McDonald's or stuff like that, or from supermarkets. I don't use them at all because most of them are not really fast enough and strong enough. So I invested some money in a very good router, and a very fast router. It was quite expensive, to be honest, and an external antenna that is connected. So, and in each country I travel, I pay a prepaid just data card. a prepaid data card. We have unlimited volume. That's what I use here. But right now at this spot, it's not working. Actually, the provider, it's not working very well. So I have a backup. This is my mobile phone. And with my mobile phone, it's just connected. Actually, right now when we're talking here, it's connected to my sorry for a short commercial for my MacBook, and I use this network because it's much better and much. So I always have I use two different networks, two different providers in each country to be safe. But I don't use Wi-Fi that is offered from different, I don't know, as I said, fast food locations, supermarket, or chains like that. You can use them, but I don't use them because you can use them when I don't know, when you're writing a blog or you want to upload some pictures. But if you really want a stable line because you are communicating with someone like we do, Dr. JACALYN, or when you're working with clients, for me the most important thing is to have a stable network, not interruption, not a good picture, and just stable. So I use two different data providers.
Okay, so you have a backup and a backup, really.
Yeah,
That,
absolutely. Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. So, what are some of the tips that you can share, things that have really worked well and things that maybe haven't happened to you, but are concerns for people living a remote life or a life on the road?
You mean in general, or what do you mean?
I think in general and also specifics. So, in other words, in your experience, this happened to you, and as a result, you did this, or someone else shared with you that they're working from an island or they're working in their garden and this happened or that happened. Just anything that you can share with our audience.
Okay. Well, I guess I mentioned it in another interview before. First of all, if you want to do so, don't do it because you're escaping from something. Especially don't escape from yourself because you always take yourself with you. Okay, that's the most important thing. Especially when you do it by your own, alone. Yeah, when you travel or you work remotely as a couple, it's easier. But when you work alone and travel alone, it's sometimes quite challenging. What's the most important mistake I made? That's a good question. I mean, as I said before, this beautiful Spanish island has been my home base for the last 14 years. But I went there just as a home base. I didn't work there. I mean, I worked online there, yeah. But I was not depending on the workforce market on this island. So what I always do is I don't want to depend on any region, on any other country. So the point is, most people fall in love, especially on vacation. I don't know, they see a nice island or a mountain or river or see a motorhome or whatever, and they fall in love with that. And what they forget is when you move to a different country, maybe a different continent, different language, there are language issues, and secondly, you don't have any network there. So even it's difficult to build up a business at home with an existing network. But when you move somewhere else, doesn't matter where, be aware there's no network that you can rely on. So it's much more harder. There are less people you can ask for advice. There are less people that support you, that recommend you. So you're really working from zero. So be aware of that. So I think the best thing is if you have a job or a business, however you want to call it, that is already existing, and it doesn't matter where you're sitting, from where you're streaming, especially when you work as a digital nomad. It's the best way. The best way is have a business opportunity that you can take everywhere, always say tax and customs free from country to country. The only thing you need is a good equipment and the Wi-Fi, and make business. That's the best opportunity. Yeah. If you work as an analog nomad, meaning you do a normal job as, let's say, as a waiter in a bar in a restaurant, or you're a yoga teacher or a surf teacher, or you're a therapist or an instructor, or you're a plumber or whatever it is, it's much more challenging, as I said, because you have to always have to find clients on the new spot where you just are in this country, in this area, and maybe you have language issues, and secondly, you don't have a network. So be very aware of that. That's really risky, and it's not so easy, to be honest. It's not so easy, especially when there is pressure on the market. When in the crisis, I remember, I've been many times in Asia. And I love Asia, especially Indonesia and Bali. And people are so friendly, they're open. But when there's a crisis, it changes. You are still a foreigner. Always keep it in mind. You're a foreigner. You're not one of them. You're not part of the community. Even you've been living like myself. I was on this island for 14 years. When there's a crisis, then you will be aware that you're a foreigner. So be aware of that. But when you say I don't know if I made any mistakes or things that I regret. No, not at all. But as I said, I don't have this. In German, we say this rosa rote Brille. This classes where you see everything in rosa. I love, as I said, I love challenges. Absolutely, I love adventures. Absolutely, but I also love planning and structure. So I don't go 100% risk. I don't do this 100% risk, because when you go 100% risk, especially financially 100% risk, you're under pressure, and your customers can feel this when you're under pressure, because you need this money. Yeah, this is not good. It's because you don't want to beg for a job. Yeah, you want to offer your best service to a client, so client come to you. Of course, you're doing promotion and advertising, of course, but it's not about back end, because you need the money. You be under pressure. So be aware of that.
Thank you, Roland. Good points. Will you go back to Mallorca at some point, or is this your way of living until the foreseeable future?
It's an interesting question. I thought about it yesterday, actually several times the last months. Well, to be honest, I have no plan, no idea. There are so many different factors. But, I have a storage in Mallorca, a huge one, where all my furniture, books, and motorbikes and all the stuff is there. Because I left it there and I didn't move it to the mainland, because I said, maybe going back. If I don't go back, I can always bring it to the mainland. But if I go there, I have to bring it back again. So it's less. So I just stored it there. Right now, I don't know. I really enjoy the traveling. It works very well for me. My girlfriend is also traveling. She's now coming with me for 2-3 weeks on vacation to France. But then she's flying, I don't know, South Africa, Mongolia, and with her job, she's traveling with her job. So as long we have both different, especially her lifestyle, it doesn't make sense for me to go back on the island and spend a hell of money on renting or buying a house. It doesn't make sense for me. Just to be there sometimes and store my stuff. So my stuff is good in the storage. And to be honest, you know what? It's a hell of stuff there. It's a hell of stuff. And I don't, maybe a bicycle, but I don't miss a single thing. I don't miss a single thing.
Isn't that amazing? There's do you know George Carlin? He was a comedian.
Yeah.
And he does this skit about stuff and how we get stuff and then we have to buy a bigger place and then a bigger place for more and more and more stuff. I know with me, shipping clothes back and forth from here to Florida, I've never put any of them on. I'm still in sneakers. I don't wear any of my high heel shoes. I don't use any of my handbags. It's amazing how we just get so much stuff. And then when we get some perspective away from it, we realize we don't even need it, but it traps us in many ways. Like you have that obligation of that storage unit that you're paying for. And at some point, you're going to have to go there and do something with all that stuff.
Yeah, to be honest, when I moved out from the island, I was thinking about getting rid of all this stuff, and then I said, no, my furniture is really good quality from different designers, so on a high price. So if I sell it, I don't get just peanuts, so keep it. And the question is, should I invest in the storage for 1 or 2 years? Yes or no? And I said, okay, the furniture and all the stuff is much more of value than the rent of the storage costs me. But I don't miss it at all. So if I would go back to a house, yes, I would need it. I can need it, yes. But right now, I don't miss it. And even in my motorhome, I mean, to be honest, I have a lot of storage here. And as it was clear from the beginning that I would move in with the animals, yes, but without my girlfriend, because she's flying around and she will come with me for a few days or for a few weeks, a year. So it was clear that I use all the storages, and much too much stuff. Also when I look at my clothes, I guess I have, I don't know, 25 t-shirts with me. I have pants, blue jeans, I don't know, 15 different pullovers, stuff like that. And I always use the 5, 6 same ones, then I wash it again and then put it on again. Of course, I have some business stuff. I have some business shoes and business shirts and jackets and stuff like that. Yes, but not 50 like I had at home, just 2 here, and it's still enough. I still have too much stuff here. I guess I could get, when I look into my motorhome, I think I could get rid at least of 50% of the stuff in here, and it still would be enough.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I think it's funny. In my life in corporate, I used to travel a lot, and I'd go into an office and I meet with clients. And of course, you want to look different all the time. You don't want to have the same outfit on. And of course, the shoes have to match the bags, and maybe you have a hat on or whatever. But the funny thing is, for business owners, we don't, it's different than if you're in the corporate world, I feel like. And especially if you work at home or you work in your motorhome or wherever it is, we don't need to have all of that clothing and 5 briefcases. It's amazing, isn't it?
I'm just smiling about. First of all, in a business, we say that your customer doesn't pay you a penny more if you have a more expensive suitcase or not, or whatever it is, or I don't know, Rolex or a nice shirt or a money or whatever. It doesn't make sense. And secondly, when I was smiling is, especially when you work remotely, you just need a top. That's all.
I have to say, Roland, every time when I'm interviewing someone and they reach to get something or I'm like, oh no, please stay safe.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Same to me. Same to me.
Well, you obviously really enjoy what you're doing and you're really good at it. So I'd love for you to tell people what you're doing on Talking Heads, because that's coming up right after this. And you really are providing great education opportunities for people to engage with you without even actually contacting you by doing the Talking Heads. And then the goal obviously would be for them to hire you and to bring you in. So I'd love to spotlight you about that.
Yeah, I started 26 years ago, and I'm just from my background, I went to different universities because I was always very curious about learning and study, but not from theory, just for life. I learned about this, I learned about that, and I went to the corporate world, and I had a very fast career. I guess I was the youngest member of board of director in a company. It was a fun job in the beginning. It was a hell of money, yes, but I was not happy at all because I was not the master of my own life. Yeah, so I worked many, many hours, and I didn't see my kids raise. I had not enough time for vacation. I remember we had this amazing flat in Italy where we always went down with the kids. I have three boys, and we raised them. And my family went there for 6, 8 weeks in summer, and I went there for a week or 6 days. And sometimes my secretary called me and said, "You have to come back. There's an issue there." So I said, "Okay, I want to change that." And I started my own businesses, very successful ones, and also 2 ones who failed, but these have been the best ones because I learned so much out of them. So two businesses failed, which really gave me a good lesson. And the other ones were very successful international in different areas and in different industry. I was focused in sales, or I had to manage and coach my staff. I had 8,000 people worldwide. And besides that, I started my training company because other companies came to me and said, "Hey, you're training your own staff for the job you're doing. You're doing excellent work as a trainer. You have a lot of expertise. It's not just theory, just reading a book or seeing another seminar and just copying it. So you have a lot of expertise and experience. Would you love to train my staff too?" So I came to Xerox or OpenText and huge, big international companies without any website. And there was no website at the beginning, without any business card, without any brochures, just recommended. Brochures recommended and recommended and recommended. So and I started this business, and it became more and more fun to me. And yeah, I could share my knowledge, my experience, help a lot of businesses develop their business, their stuff, be more successful, more sustainable in their market. And and to be honest, for me, it's not a business, a job. I really love what I'm doing. And actually, 2 weeks ago, when I delivered a training to this US company, and the feedback, some people are writing in, he's really passionate what he's about. He's really excited. He's really passionate what he's teaching us. And that's what I do. It's not just teaching something. Everything I teach, I strongly believe in it, that it's working, because I experienced it by myself with my business, that it's working. So it's not just theory, it works. And I'm really passionate about it, because I love it, because I know that I can make a difference in an organization, and I can make a difference in a personal life. That's what drives me. And yeah, and with Talking Heads, what I do is some of the content I train internationally, I just split it in small 25 minutes episodes, and to give people on a broader audience the chance to experience and listen what I have to tell. And if somebody's interested in going deeper, you're more than welcome to contact me. I do a combination of remote and analog working. So actually this morning I sent out a proposal to a huge automotive company. They hire me for next year. And we start always in a classroom, so the people, I can connect with the people, they can connect with me. So I fly in, meaning I guess I will be in Portugal. So I will leave my motorhome in Portugal, take the plane to the customer, work with them a few days, get to know all the stuff, and then I fly back to Portugal, and then I continue my job with them remotely, meaning working online with them. Then I fly back, meet the management, work with them, see them in live in classroom. Then I fly back wherever my motorhome just is, and then I continue working remotely with them. So that's all the combination always doing. And because of the pandemic, what happened the last years, more and more people are working remotely, and also the coaching and training consulting business more and more became remotely. So it's a huge advantage for me, because I love to travel, meaning I love to travel slowly in my motorhome. To be honest, I don't love to travel by airplane. I don't know how it's in the US, but here in Europe, it's so chaotic right now. There's so many cancellations, delays, luggage not found, stuff like that. So I'm very, very happy that I can do most of my business remotely with my customers. Especially with my customers that are already been working many, many years for me, like Xerox. I guess more than 20 years worldwide. And we do remotely since 2 years. To be honest, yeah, the rest of my life I was flying to South America, to the Middle East, to Africa, everywhere, and working with them on all continents with my clients. So I do it remotely now. And just to let you know what exactly, I'm specialist on every kind of sales. People need sales training or strategic accounting, large accounting. Now I help their customers manage change through innovation. So we talk a lot about innovation, digitalizations, and we also do a lot of consulting, process consulting, get smoother processes, and leadership development. It's very expensive. Very expensive. It's very, very important, and expensive if you don't do it, because leadership is so important. I strongly believe that those companies will survive, not those who have the best products, but to have the best team, the best talents on board. And it's all about finding the best talents, hiring them, binding them onto the company, develop them through good leadership, through good HR, meaning human research and human capital management. So that's what our focus is with myself and my team. And we can do this, to be honest, I don't know quite sure. You see it on the website, I guess in 8 or 9 different languages, my team. So I personally, when I train and consult personally the clients, I do it in German and English, but my team can do it in Spanish and French and Italian and Polish and classical Arab, and I guess in Portuguese too, and French, different languages. And I love it. I just love it. I just love it. And for me, the best feedback is when customers call me later. And actually, there was one client, and he started newly with the company, and I was hired to train them, to do them a 5-day training. It was a classroom training, 5 days classroom training. And all the people that were sitting in the classroom have no sales experience of all. They have been already working for this company, but in different areas, marketing, storage, different areas. And the company said, we have to grow. We have to grow through more sales. And we found out when we did some research with them and consulting, they have not enough sales staff, and they have a lot of stuff in administration that costs them a hell of money. And they said, we don't want to invest in more sales staff, so we ask our administration staff, marketing boss, storage boss, whatever, and say, okay, you go in sales or you're fired. Well, it's quite tough. And I said, you're going to get here. But the CEO said, yeah, that's the way we do it. So they went out to the staff and said, okay, you go in sales or you're fired. So you can imagine that there was 8 people sitting in this classroom, not very motivated. And I think they hated me in the first hour because I had to train them on sales. But you know what? After 2 days, said, hey, when can we finish? Because they're so on fire. Yes, we want to go out to the market. We want to do this. We want to do this. So they really get fired. Really, they all have been on fire. Even when one of the girls left crying on the first day, because I pushed them very hard, because I strongly believe, and you have this boxing clothes in the back, I strongly believe that the training has to be harder than reality. So I really spur them. I really provocate them. I really challenge them to make them ready for the market, to be fit, to perform under pressure, because there's a lot of pressure in the market from your customers, from your competitors, from your boss, from your goals. So I really challenge them on a positive way, because sometimes it's a lot of pressure. And I remember one of the girls, on the first day, she left crying. She came back, but she was crying. She was, totally overwhelmed emotionally. It was too much for her. But she continued. And one of these guys, and afterwards we did field coaching. And one of these guys, he started in sales, it was last year, mid of May. And at the end of the year, he was the second most successful salesperson in the whole organization. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. And he got a fringe benefit, or I guess it was a trip to Brazil. And this guy called me and I said, Roland, I'm invited to Brazil. I'm the second most successful salesperson in the entire organization. But I have had 4 months less than all my colleagues, because I started with sales in May. He was so happy and very successful after my training. And he called me and said, Roland, we fly to Brazil. And I said, what the heck are we doing in Brazil? I said, yeah, I'm invited. Everything is paid. And you're the trainer. You're my coach. I love you. It's all about you. Please come with me. And I said, stop. I love you too, but please take your wife with you. Please go with your wife. Enjoy, because you deserve it. I just was there to help you, to support you a little bit, but it was your work you're doing. So, and I love the success stories, So I really challenge the audience, the delegates. I really challenge them, but I do it because I know I want to do the best of them. I don't want to bring them down. I don't want to break them, but I really challenge them because I know on the market it's hard. And for me, it's all about performance under pressure. How do you perform under pressure? How do you deal with your emotions? How do you deal with distractions? So I really make them fit. And they're successful. And that's what I love.
You are truly passionate about what you do, and it comes through. And it's no wonder that you're working with these international clients from around the world and that they keep coming back to you. So do you actually have the capacity, I know you mentioned about your team, the capacity to take on some more clients?
The capacity, yeah. The question is always, does the customer want, and do we want? Because we always have a very, very tough meeting in the beginning to get to know each other. First of all, does the customer trust us that we can deliver what we promise? And secondly, it's for us too, or especially for me and my team, is I want to know, is the customer 100% committed? Because we are 100% committed. When the customer is 100% committed, then we have a 200% commitment. So what I mean with this, if the top management is not involved, and if the process we are supposed to do for them is not on the priority list on number 2 or number 1 or 2 at least, we don't start. We only go for people who are really committed. We don't want to waste their time and our time and energy. We only want them who really want to do the job, who really want to become better, more profitable, more successful, whatever it is. But only with 100% commitment. Otherwise, we don't do it. We don't want to waste time and energy. Of course, we all want to make money, and we all have to settle our bills. Yes, but it's not about the money. For me, it's about the challenge, It's about the project. Do I love it? Do I like the people? Are they committed? And when they're committed, yes, we go for it, because it's much more fun when people are committed and say, we have to do it because we have to invest some money, because every year we invest a little bit money in training and development. No, we don't do that. We do a full project with them, yes, but only with 100% commitment from our side and from their side. But we have capacities, yes, but we are very, to be honest, we look very deep in our client with whom we are working on that.
All right. There you have it. Thank you so much. And I appreciate the fact that you want 100% commitment, because it's kind of like that expression when someone says, I'm looking for my better half. No, you have to be a whole and they're a whole. You need two wholes coming together, right? So you're giving 100% and the client needs to give 100%. And only then are you going to have successful execution.
Yeah, I call it a toxic order, because if the client is not 100% committed, it's not working. Especially if the leadership is not 100% committed. Let's say I train sales staff. If the leadership is not committed, meaning preparing the sales staff, okay, hey guys, we hired an international company. This is the topic. We spend the money on that for sure. But we want you, before the training starts, what do you want to learn? This is the content where you want to focus on. Okay, so I want the leadership to prepare the stuff before they come to the training. Because what I really hate when we do the introduction round and I said, okay, what are you expecting from this course? And people sitting and say, I have no idea what's going on. Surprise me. No, I'm not an entertainer. If you want to get entertainment, buy a movie ticket. Okay, so if you want to, we want the leadership to get fully involved and know exactly what we're doing. We also engage leadership to participate, because after the workshop, when I or my team, when we move out, who is going to continue the coaching? If the leadership doesn't know what's the content, what we trained them, what they learned, what's the insight, where there is a deeper coaching demand for them, it doesn't make sense. And then you move out after a while, or I don't know, it's an online or a classroom workshop, and then it's not working, because it's not about listening to a workshop and doing some role plays and then you're done. No, you have to practice. But when we move out, it's the responsibility of the leadership. And if the leadership doesn't take responsibility, the workshop has no impact on the future. And then, then they fail. And then guess whose fault is? Not their fault. It's a training company. And I don't want to hear this shit. No, it's not a training company. It's the leadership. But you know what? That's why we say, okay, 100% commitment, and then we know it's working, and then we're both happy. They're happy, and we are happy.
Yes. I love the way you just put it out there. It's great. Well, it's time to sign off for your next show, which is Talking Heads. So if you would please give people the way that they can reach out to you, especially if they're listening on the radio and they can't read the banner.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah. First of all, again, my name is Roland, and as you can hear from my accent, I'm not obviously a native US or a British English speaker. I'm born and raised in a small country in the middle of Europe, in Austria, but I traveled a lot and I got a lot of experience. So when I move out to me, I always say go to my main website. I said in the beginning I had no website at the beginning. Yes, I didn't need it. But a very good friend of mine, he became a very good friend of mine who runs a very successful agency building websites and promotion and stuff like that. So I hired him, and we came across, as my expertise is so broad and my offering is so broad, that we have a main website, and under this main website you get linked to the business content when you're running an organization, when you need leadership, sales, leadership training, executive management, or interim management. Then there's a website if you need individual coaching, like Wireless Life Rocks, how to work remotely, building up a business, maybe remotely, maybe traveling, stuff like that. And then is the men's blog. So I would say go to my main website, and my main website is just my name. It's rolandfriedl.com. For those guys who can't see it because they're listening on radio, I will spell it for you. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com, rolandfriedl.com. That's my main website. And from there, you can link to the other website. The one is SPS, Partner Performance Systems, where we do have our organizations or our business clients. Then there's Wireless Life Rocks for those who want to have the same crazy lifestyle like myself, maybe. And then there's Sparring for Men, which is the man's platform. And you're welcome to contact me, and yeah, let me know where you want to go, and then maybe we can do something together and we can support you. You're more than welcome.
Brilliant. Thank you, Roland. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Yeah, I missed the shows. It's for, I told you, for me, USA Global TV and Radio is family, and I love the concept of sharing and caring and sharing good information for people worldwide, and not always this negative manipulated information we get on mainstream media. So I really enjoy it, and I guess this will be a very successful concept in the future. It takes some time to build it up, but we are here and we support each other. We connect. It's sharing, caring, and connecting, and I guess we can really bring a lot of value to people and making a difference in somebody's life. Yeah. So I'm very looking forward to the Talking Head show. Actually, it's the summarize of a long chapter, performance under pressure, control of attention. And it has 12 episodes, and today it's the last episode, number 12. And this last episode, as it was a longer time from the 11th one, we do a summarize of episode 9, 10, 11, meaning mental strength for this, what's about your mental strength in business, what are success points, and how to work on task. That's the topic for today. And if you, please join me. We're gonna start in 15 minutes. And we're looking for that 20, 25 minutes. And I guess you will get a lot of benefit out of them in a short episode.
And Roland, while I have you here on Spotlight, can you just share a little bit about the men's show and what people can expect to experience when they watch or listen?
The Wild at Heart, baby. I love this show. As I said, I have this Sparring for Men, this men's platform where we meet online. And then there was this great opportunity, and thanks, Dr. JACALYN, for this opportunity that I bring my own show on USA Global TV and Radio. It's called Wild at Heart. Actually, it's from a book title, from a book title from John Eldridge, a guy I really appreciate. He did a lot of men's work, and Wild at Heart, real, authentic, uncut, meaning real man, authentic, and an uncut show. Meaning we have between 5 and 7 guys, just normal guys from different parts of the world, from different countries, different backgrounds. We meet every Wednesday at the show, and we discuss topics. It's as you said in the beginning, it's a show for men, by men, about men. We have different topics. I guess it's already episode number 11, I think. The last 2 episodes, we have been talking about how our male sexuality evolved while we're getting older. We had our hobbies, how our dad influences our masculinity. And actually tomorrow we're going to talk about a topic that's a little special. We talk about porn addiction and what impact it has on the masculinity and on the sexuality in our private life. So we have topics for men, about men, and by men, and it's a fantastic show. So if you're a male audience, if you're a man, you want to learn something, you want to share something, you can contribute also. You can text us. You can write to us. You can go on the website, the Bonfire Talks website, where you can meet all the guys in person. You can tell us what topic you want to have discussed. We can take care about that. So it's an interesting show. And if you're a girl, maybe you're interested in what men are talking about. Maybe you understand your husband and your lover better, or you just send your lover and your husband to the show. It's up to you. It's got a lot of fun.
Fabulous. Thank you, Roland.
Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Thank you.
I'll let you go and see you shortly.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV. And if you'd like to be a guest, go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with Roland's show, and we look forward to having you there. Take care.